What's going on, folks? Well, it was about time for us to have a talk about this AR-15 assault weapons ban that they're trying to put together. Well, a lot of people are saying you don't need an assault weapon. Now, I agree. But the AR-15 is not an assault rifle. That's the one thing that I don't think a lot of people realize. The AR-15 is not an assault rifle. So everybody's up in arms saying that, you know, we need to get rid of these and things of that nature. Well, I will say this. These random acts of terror are definitely a tragedy. Something needs to be done. But when we start talking gun control and things like that, that is not going to stop a criminal or a person that has horrible intentions to stop. So we need to put people in place so people are able to be protected. You know what I mean? Because an assault weapons ban isn't going to stop it. And like I said before, an AR-15 is not an assault rifle. So we need to figure out something else that's going to work. And I'm thinking maybe we have harsher penalties for acts of terror. Because that's exactly what this is. And it's a cowardly act, because what happens is somebody's upset and they're taking this tool, and with this tool they're causing chaos and they're hurting and taking the lives of innocent people. And 99% of the time these people are not in a position to defend themselves. That's one of my biggest things about gun control, because yes, you want to say we want to take this. Why? Because then if a criminal decides to swarm a neighborhood, let's say, which can happen, now you're outgunned and criminals have the upper hand. And yes, we can say, let's call the police. But they're reactive. And a lot of people don't even know a lot of things that go into play when you call or report a mass shooting for responding officers. Okay? So when that is your answer, you need to fully understand what happens. Okay? Now, well, we're not going to do a 20-minute video, so we're not going to be able to cover all of those things like that. However, the gun control thing, I think we do need possibly, I can't even say more strict gun laws. Okay? Now, they keep saying, you know, you don't need this, you don't need a 50-round magazine, you don't need a drum magazine. Okay. Well, up until the Las Vegas mass shooting, one of the most deadliest mass shootings was done with handguns. And a lot of people don't know that, but he had a book bag full of magazines. So the thing is, we don't necessarily need to keep blaming the tool. What we need to do is find out a remedy where we could put people in place or have punishments harsh enough to make people think like, wow, if I do this, this is going to be mandatory. You know what I mean? Think about it in other countries. If you steal, they cut off your hand. So that's something to think about. If I steal, I lose a hand. Now, I'm not saying that if you conduct a mass shooting, they should take your hand. Maybe they should take all of your fingers. I don't know. But something needs to be done to make people actually think and second guess it. And I know a lot of people will say, oh my God, that's harsh. Well, you know what else is harsh? When you take an AR-15 or any firearm, and that's what people fail to realize. It doesn't always have to be an AR-15, because that's simply a tool. You could take a knife. It was just a situation, and I'm going to talk about it on another video, with officers that were killed with a knife. But it could be anything. You could take a school bus and drive it through a crowd full of people. So anything that you're using to cause mass loss of life, you need to be severely punished for it. You don't need a slap on the wrist. That's one of the problems. Make people feel it. Like in other countries, yes, if you steal, they will chop your hand off. So we need to do something that's going to make these cowards second guess what they're doing. And no, I'm not one of those people to say, oh, gun control is too much, but I will say this. If they start coming for AR-15s, everything else is soon to follow. The Second Amendment is there for a reason. And if they could change that, if they could work it so they could change that, then what's next? That's what you guys need to be focused on. Don't get caught up in the smoke screen of just this assault weapon ban, because trust me, an AR-15 is not an assault rifle, okay? So if you didn't know, now you know. But, you know, I think we might actually do a couple podcasts and have like a live and just talk about this. You know what I mean? Who's down to talk? I think we should get a lot of people and just have a big conversation about this. But until then, have fun, shoot safe.